sure about that?
All right, let's make sure we're up on Facebook. All right, perfect. We are up. We are up. We are up. Okay, welcome back, everybody, for another episode. This is your boys here at the Truth Media Podcast, where we get straight into the truth, nothing but the truth. So help us, good Lord. All right, guys. So if you guys have been living under a rock, what you guys would have seen is that LeBron James, or better yet known as GOAT James, has officially become the NBA's scoring leader of all time. All right. So this guy has finally was able to eclipse the esteemed Kareem Abdul Jabbar as of last night. They were going against the Oklahoma City Thunder. They ended up losing the game. I think it finished up at 133 to 130. LeBron ended up getting, I believe, 38. What he needed was 36 in order to eclipse the record. So what I wanted to do is just kind of first take a look at the defeat and look at the sort of what led up to it, and then sort of the aftermath upon him hitting the shot to eclipse the record. And then from there I want to sort of discuss with my co-host kind of like what is this like, what was your reaction if you were watching the game, or if you just looked at the highlights the day after, and also what does this mean for his legacy going forward. And if you guys want to chime in on this topic, please do not hesitate to do so. We have our chats running up on YouTube as well as Facebook right now at the moment, so we'll do our best to be able to caption them and then read them out loud so we can answer them. All right. And also too, yes, guys, we don't like to beg and plead over here, right? So if you guys enjoy our content, you guys feel as though this is going to be something that gets you past those boring hours, when you're not able to fall asleep, by all means, give us a like. All right. But you got a subscribe also would definitely help, for good measure. That will definitely make the heart grow fonder. So with all said and done, Aaron, is there anything else from you?
No.
All right. So let's get into we already got an ad already set to go.
YouTube TV. Try
as soon as and I ain't getting paid on that. Fucking bullshit. All right, here we go. All right, I want to get into the set. I want to get all the way into the set. Let's get into the set. All right, let's do it.
Got it. The third quarter. LeBron and his
yes. Yes. Okay, come on now. Yes. Ah, man, I love it.
Kareem looks so
I love him. Yeah, he was tight. I never seen somebody fake smile so much, man. Yeah, come on, man. Let's get through it. It's only a minute and some quarter, man. If we're gonna do this, we're not even gonna make the video, man. Jesus Christ, man. All right, you know what?
Okay.
While we let that, I mean, shit.
Looks like it's buffered already.
Yeah, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, man. You got that.
You know what? Maybe
Nigerian Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I must. All right, yeah. I think I just maybe I helped by closing.
Got that Nigerian Wi-Fi going.
All right, there we go. You're blacked out. I don't know if you did that on purpose.
MVP chance. Oh, give me a break.
An embrace from his mother.
bro.
Gloria. His daughter Zuri coming in. The boys.
Yo, Bryce
I love it.
taller than fucking Bronny.
Yeah, he's 6'5" right now.
Thought is an unbreakable
Supposedly.
record has just
Like
been
6'4",
broken by
6'5".
38-year-old
Cacao.
LeBron James.
On a step back against very good defense here by Kenrich Williams.
Very good defense. He didn't even get his hand up. What do you mean very good defense? He didn't even get his hand up. Come on, man. Clearly, he didn't read the scouting report. Yeah. No, I'm joking. No, but that wasn't great defense. He didn't put his hand up.
Yeah, no, it's all right. That was good enough, D. That's a tough shot to contest. But anywho, yeah. So, yeah, what were your thoughts, man? I don't know if you watched. Did you watch the game last night?
No, I didn't watch the game. To be honest with you, I haven't watched an NBA game since the playoffs last year. Actually, I guess like since the finals last year. I watched the highlights on MLG highlights, NBA highlights, But I did not watch the game. I knew that it was probably going to go down last night. But yeah, I don't want to say it's one of those moments where it's just like, you know what, like I kind of felt like I didn't really have to watch it. I think we live in a time now where you can miss something and you're gonna be hit with it. Now it harkens me back to Kobe's last game.
Okay.
I did not like growing up. I thought he was he was basically trying to like be Jordan 2.0. I didn't like that, and I always was a fan of AI. So like the whole 2000 NBA Finals, lines were drawn in the sand. So Kobe was on the wrong side of that for me. But Kobe's last game, I watched that game, every minute of that game against the Utah Jazz with a young Gordon Hayward with a bowl cut. I watched Kobe go out there and drop 60, willing his team to victory. Because don't tell me that the Utah Jazz team wasn't trying to win. They wanted to win that damn game, and they lost. The Black Mamba, that was something. So yeah, I wasn't galvanized to watch LeBron last night do this against the OKC team as I was to watch Kobe's last game. You know what I mean? So take with that as you will. Kudos to LeBron. It's a great accomplishment. But it wasn't something that I had to stop the presses for. Again, I'm not a sports analyst. Maybe if I was a sports analyst, yeah, I'd watch it, give you the play-by-play. But that's not what we do here.
Okay, yeah. So we had completely two different viewpoints on this, which is amazing, and I'm glad. Yeah. So I loved every single second of it. This was actually one of the first games that I watched in a long time that I was able to actually get, because it's so annoying when I want to watch a game, I have to go onto my stick. No homo.
Whoa, yo.
Yeah. I have to go on my stick. Yeah, I said what I said. I have to go onto my stick. Then I gotta find a game that's actually compelling. And the games that I should tune in for, the ones that are the marquee games, those are the ones where I end up, falling asleep early, or I'm focused on this podcast, and so I don't even get a chance to watch it. So, So what I really wanted to make sure of last night was that I was able to check out this game. Even still, I was putting together, material for my other channel and also for this channel. So I was thankfully able to get in the second quarter, and I gotta say, I almost missed it. I mean, the dude, I think he had almost 20 points, 20 plus points at half. So I was like, yeah, hey, yo, I look at the meter. The meter at one point said like 8 points left. I'm like, hey, what? I was like, hey, and in due fashion, man. You know what it was? For me, it's I guess it's because I enjoy looking at these moments, sort of holistically, and being able to. What I was dissecting was like not only the sheer magnitude of that moment. What I thought about was this guy's journey. You know what I'm saying? Like, being so, being such a, how do I explain this? Being such a long shot, right? I'm looking at the guys that are on the Thunder bench, right? I'm looking at their reaction. I'm looking at the guys on the Lakers bench, right? I'm looking at how a lot of these guys will most likely never ever get this moment,
No, hell
right?
no.
So
No.
so yeah, so for me, it was like I'm looking at it like at that level where it's like these guys are like, yo, like what did I'm actually a part, and kudos to the Thunder because they didn't allow the moment to get there. If anything, it galvanized them, to
Yeah.
say, hey, this let's be the poo-pooers on on this special day, and it was really a great game to watch. But I think the problem for me that I had is I think it could have been an even better game. But I'm not a fan of doing it, like doing the celebration shit like right there, because they stopped the whole thing. Like
Yeah.
he made the shot. The teams were going back and forth. He was, and it wasn't because, and I even say it more so for him as well because he had a load of steam, no homo, and shit, man. And he ended up being able, and like that shooting that shot, he was like, yo, like he was already, like, he had a ton of momentum. So when they halted everything, like both teams, that stalled a lot for both teams, right? And as we know, he is 38, so to halt the game, I think they halted it for like 15, 20 minutes while they were going back, setting it up, making sure they got they got Kareem's old self over, you know what I'm saying? He was standing there salty, you know what I'm saying? And they had, rightfully so. And then they had all these, they had to get all the people on necessary to be able to take the picture and all the other stuff, give him his moment where he could talk. And I'm thinking the whole time as a basketball, I'm like, yo, come on, man, wrap this shit up and get to the game, man. So do this shit after the game. Like, it's not going, like, you're not losing no moment. Like, come on, man. Like, get back to the game. So that was my more so reactions, that I wanted him to be able to stay on fire, keep the momentum going, and then get the win, right? Like that, because they
Yeah.
had already
Ultimately,
broke
that's
their
that's
squad.
what you want to see. Yeah. But I wasn't shocked that they lost. To be honest with you.
No,
That's
I wasn't
true.
shocked either. The
But
way
I
that
will
they
say
played down the
this
stretch
to your point about
was
them
a big thing.
stopping. I think that's a great subtopic here because
Mm-hmm.
at first, I'll tell you what, going into it, I knew they were going to stop it. They stopped it when he passed Michael Jordan on the list. I forget who he was playing. I forget who he was playing, but when he passed Michael Jordan, they stopped it, and then they also stopped it when he passed Kobe. And that was like in the aftermath of Kobe, like
Okay.
But either way, they stopped it for those. So I knew they were going to stop it for this. And so obviously, because I didn't watch it live. I watched it afterwards. And when I saw that they stopped it, and then like they stopped it, I was like, you know what? I'll tell you this. Some people might feel the way that you do about it, and I get it. I'm not going to say what's right or wrong. I will say this though. For situations like this that come across, maybe once every 50 years, who cares if you stop the game for about 15 minutes to do what's right, in the moment. So I think that in the grand scheme of things, it's not even going to be a blip on the radar. That the game was stopped, not his accomplishment. That the game was stopped.
No. Selfishly for me, yeah. Like, I just didn't want it to stop. Do I understand why they stopped it? Yes, but selfishly, as a basketball fan, like, as a basketball guy, like that, I know what's going to happen as a result of you stopping the game, and I just didn't want that to happen. And so I wanted them to be able to keep, for both teams, I wanted them to be able to keep the rhythm, because it was a really good. I think they were at, I think they weren't too, I think it was just coming to the end of the third quarter.
It was.
And they already had eclipsed the 100 point. They were getting to, the Lakers, I think, were at 99. And then they were at 104, if I remember correct from the score that was on the screen. So they had already cut it in close. Like, so they were going to go into the fourth quarter with all the momentum because they were down. They were going back and forth and were coming, the Thunder would hit a couple of shots. The guy, Joe, the last name Joe, was a fucking cannon all night, man. Like, I'm really, I basically was like, yo, these guys are, they're playing for some contracts, man. These guys they playing for some money. Go ahead, bro. Like, so I was happy to watch that, man. At that end, but what I did. Okay, one of the questions I did want to bring up for this thing was, what do you think this is gonna do? What do you think this does for LeBron James's legacy going forward? Because I mean, I think we both agree this is a big accomplishment.
Yeah, I mean, to be quite honest with you, I think that there's two ways to break this down. I believe. I think that there's the way that the average Joe NBA fan is going to take it, and then the way that the more nuanced NBA fans are going to take it. Now, the average person is going to say, especially the young ones, are going to be like, "Oh, LeBron James is the greatest player of all time," and I disagree with that. Don't get me wrong; this is a great feat. It's a huge feat, and it definitely impacts his legacy. It moves him up, but in my opinion, and I believe in most opinions, it doesn't erase a lot of the things that has happened during his career for him to be the greatest, in my opinion. So that's that way. Now, looking at it from the perspective of someone like myself, I would say, hey, this puts him solidly above Larry Bird and Magic Johnson. There's no more, because I always had them kind of in the same room. Now, if we got up to use the bathroom and the door closed, whoever the two is still in that room, hey, I'm cool with that. People want to argue that, hey, that's fine. LeBron want to take a piss, Magic and Bird in there, whatever. Bird want to take a piss, Bron and Magic in there, okay, whatever. You call it. That's how you pick them. Now, I think with this, he's definitely above them. So I would say he's under. So I have MJ. It's hard to put anyone above like even a Kareem. The thing I'll give LeBron over Kareem is that LeBron was the guy on all his championship teams. And Kareem was not. Kareem didn't win until he got Oscar Robertson. And then we all know what happened when he got to LA. So LeBron was the guy. Like, even in Miami, D. Wade had to give LeBron the keys and say, it's your team, before they actually won. So I have to give LeBron some more credit. So I'll put him, again, now it's a pickup with Kareem. People want to say LeBron's better than Kareem, Kareem's better than LeBron. I'm not going to argue it. Saying, hey, it's interchangeable for me. Now, the Bill Russell point, now that's hard because he played such a while ago, but his defensive metrics are still off the charts. And the championships, they speak for themselves. Now, the conversation again, he played against the same team 4 times and also the stuff and yada, yada. And, we can't go back in time and have these teams play those teams. So right now, I'm going to have my top 3 is going to be Russell, not in any order, Russell, MJ, LeBron. Whereas LeBron, for a while, was fluctuating between like 4 and 6 for me. Now he's definitely top 3, in my opinion.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think we had an episode. If you guys didn't see our episode on this, we actually did talk about who we think is better between LeBron James and Michael.
Oh, yeah. That was a heated one.
Yeah, that was a great one. That was a great one where I emphatically disagreed.
Yeah, you called me the N-word.
Yeah, I definitely did. You know what I'm saying? If anybody knows me, that's a word that I really do try to stay away from, unless I hear some real ignorance on the other side of my earlobe. So that was an amazing episode. So if you haven't checked out our Anchor, or I should upload it to YouTube, so that way you guys can see that conversation. But yeah, so basically, based upon that conversation, I definitely disagree with my co-host. As far as saying that where he is ranking, now I definitely am somebody looking at the totality of this man's accomplishments, looking at the taking into consideration everything that Michael Jordan has accomplished as well. When I'm thinking about legacy, I honestly don't know how much more this moves the needle. It's a great accomplishment, but I don't know, because I just have the feeling, right, if we're going to use a feeling for a moment, that no matter what he does, in a lot of people's eyes, he's never going to eclipse Michael Jordan. So
yeah, my eyes, one of them.
Yeah, and I think your eyes would be somebody, would be that of a lot of other contemporaries who also grew up in our generation. So that is something I don't really know how much more this moves the needle on that end, from a legacy perspective. I know for me personally, it's always been a tough one, because when I look at who's the greatest of all time, I mean, I put Kareem Abdul Jabbar at the top of the helm. But I also break it down into different sort of buckets, right? So like I have who are the most influential players of all time. I have who is the best NBA basketball player of all time. I have who's the best basketball player of all time. So I break it down like that, just because there are so many nuances. And so for me, I look at Kareem's longevity. I look at the accolades, the 19 All-Star appearances, the 6 MVPs, the 6 NBA championships. I'm looking at a lot of these different things, and to say, because it hits a lot of the monikers that a lot of people will say, okay, well, you gotta have this, you gotta have this. He had the points, he had the career, his points per game, while it did wane toward the end of his career, because of obviously his role was
like 40 years old, and he was
right,
yeah,
right, but it goes a lot to say. I mean, and this kind of bolsters, for me, it bolsters LeBron in this sense, because it's when I actually heard a stat today which was incredible. When LeBron was 30, LeBron is 38, as LeBron is 38, he's averaging 30 points a game, and Kareem Abdul Jabbar's 38-year season, I believe he was at 23 points a game, if not lower, right? So this goes to show you that there is, and I mean, we can also say LeBron James does not look like he's slowing down whatsoever. God willing, no, knock on carbon fiber.
Nah, he's slowed down for sure.
Well, in a lot of aspects, but this goes to the beauty that I think that I see in LeBron James's game, because a lot of people, and I think this is where we had the conversation on either we were fucking around on Fortnite or on podcast. I genuinely believe that there's a ton of skill in his offensive set. He has a ton of he's built a ton in his offensive skill set along the way of his career, which has helped him, be able to achieve this feat. So and so as far to answer the question, I don't know how much this moves the needle on his legacy, because he's going to be where he is in a lot of people's eyes.
So where do you have him then? Answer that question. The people.
Yeah, I have him above, like right where Kareem, right with Kareem, and then I have Jordan right underneath.
Oh, so you have Kareem as the GOAT.
I had Kareem as the GOAT, but as LeBron, and this was how long did we do this episode? So we did this episode like a year and some change ago, and so he's hit a number of different accolades along the way. So yeah, I would have LeBron, him and him neck and neck.
I'm confused. So Jordan isn't the GOAT in your eyes?
No,
that's crazy to me.
Yeah,
that's absolutely ludicrous to me. Are you? Now, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. So
yeah,
holy shit, man. So wait, hold on.
Yeah,
so Jordan's not your GOAT. Jordan hasn't been your GOAT, and now that you're saying
for a long time,
like if we just said, hey, there's no Kareem, that LeBron would be your GOAT.
Yeah.
Oh hell no. Yo, what the hell are you smoking? That Nigerian Kush, nigga? What the fuck? Hold on, wait.
I'm smoking the good stuff, man.
Hold on. How the hell can you put LeBron James ahead? Well, first of all, you know what? Before we get to that, how the hell you put Kareem above Michael? And I'm not saying how the hell, like, oh my God, it's impossible for someone to even come with that. No, I think that's definitely an argument. So I want to hear your argument.
Okay, so let's start with Kareem, because that's an easy one. So a lot of people's their what do you call it? Their criteria, right? For greatest of all time, you got to hit a number of different things, right? You got to be a stout defender. You have to be stout on offense. And you have to be able to be a game changer, right? So that could be in the sense of achieving NBA MVPs, NBA Finals MVPs, and obviously rings alongside those Finals MVPs, right? So All-Star appearances, All NBAs, and so So when I look at Kareem Abdul Jabbar, I mean, from the minute, I mean, him and LeBron are in rare company, because they from an early age were sort of given that moniker of like, you are the one. So with all of that expectation on their shoulders, yes, along that way, Kareem Abdul Jabbar has hit all of the monikers that you would need in order for you to be in that conversation. So for me, I believe him going against the bruising of the all the different big men that existed during the course of his time, with the Kevin McHale's, the defense of the Pistons, the Robert Parishes of the world, the Wilt Chamberlains of the world, him going against these guys on a night by night basis, and being able to actually lead a team as well on his own to a degree. I know he had Oscar Robertson for that Milwaukee Bucks NBA championship, so that's no slouch in his own because he's a Hall of Famer. But six NBA championships, his six NBA MVPs, two NBA Finals MVPs, uh, 19 All-Star game appearances. You know, I don't have his All NBAs, but there's a number. There's just, you know, he has the sky hook, and so he's got a. So for me, that I give him that. Michael Jordan is my most influential player, best influential player of all time.
Okay. I'm happy you brought that part up too, because I'm going to piggyback to that for a second too. So before I get to that part, I want to say this. Well, I want to ask you this. Well, I want to say it and then ask you. So the two Finals MVPs, that's an issue for me. When we're having the GOAT debate, like you have to have those type things. Like Steph Curry only had one. That drastically is going to, you know, hold him back from like the GOAT conversation. You know what I mean? It's going to hold him back. Whereas Giannis wins two more and gets two more Finals MVPs, and he keeps up his numbers the way that they're going. Now we can have a conversation between Steph Curry and Giannis, where Steph Curry would have got those Finals MVPs. They can be separate from each other. So those things are important. I can't act like they're not. Basically, what that says is that you were the guy. When we needed it, you were the guy. And Kareem was only the guy twice. And don't get me wrong, when you're playing with a Magic Johnson, again, hey, we have to take that. How do we take that? Do we take away a little bit from that championship or championship because those teams were so stacked? Or do we say, you know what, hey, they played the game and they won the game. Somebody had to win it. I'm of the ilk where I say, hey, they won that shit. Somebody had to win it, right? And they won. Even the bubble tournament. There's an asterisk next to that for many people, but at the end of the day, if they're having a game and niggas is playing it, there's gonna be winners and losers. Like when Michael Jordan retired for those 2 seasons, somebody had to fucking win, and who won? Hakeem. Hakeem stepped up twice, and what did he do? He won Finals MVP twice. Now that's stepping up. That's what I need to see when we're having these type of talks. So for Kareem, the 6 championships is great, but you were not like Charles Barkley would say, you weren't the bus driver 6 times. Yes, I have to take some off of you for that. And then also the 19 All-Stars. The All-Star teams were compiled way differently back then as opposed to they are now. Now we have media, we have players and fans. Back then, I believe it was just like the players were choosing.
I don't know how that makes it any. I don't know how that buffers anything. If anything, that makes it even better in his case. No, he's being nominated by his peers. No. Or are you saying it's a popularity contest amongst players? Is that where you're leaning towards?
That's exactly what I'm leaning towards. So I'm not going to just take the whole 19 and wipe it away, but I do say, hey, that's something that people. If we're in the court of law, that's up for debate. We can bring that into the.
No, you can debate. I just it's that's. I think that's subjective. You know what I mean? So I think it's you can utilize that point, as well as the point of the bus driver point as well. I think that's a fair point. But again, he came to play, and I don't know if they win those championships without Kareem's contributions.
Hey, and that's a great point. And I'm not I don't take issue with people putting Kareem or Bill Russell, Kareem or Bill Russell above Jordan, or maybe not in that area, because to a degree I can understand why people would say these things. I can understand it, but the interesting part, and this is what I wanted to bring up before, is that you preface saying all this by saying you break it down into different tiers. Yes. And I agree with that to 100%. But I think that you misplace, from my eyes, you misplace Kareem, because I know I have Kareem in the greatest basketball player of all time.
I have him there too.
Because what he did in high school, what he did in college, and what he did in the NBA. When it just comes to the goal as the NBA, and when you take the seasons that you were there, and then you compile it all, like what you accomplished in that time, what Michael Jordan did in his short time compared to LeBron's 20 years, Kareem's 20 years, LeBron is definitely going to hold no water towards what Jordan did in that time span. And then Kareem gets knocked out with basically six finals MVPs, and then also that was three-peated twice. It's like the perfect experiment. When you perform an experiment, you have a control and you have the variable. The control was the Chicago Bulls. It's not like Jordan retired and then went to a totally different team and then three-peated again, because the control is not the same. That's not the same team. Even though the Chicago Bulls wasn't necessarily the same team, but they had the same coach and they had a lot of the main core pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So we can see three-peat. He left. They didn't even make the finals. He comes back, three-peat, 3 more finals MVPs. So the experiment shows that he's the catalyst, beyond a shadow of a doubt. Now for Kareem, we don't know. Would the Lakers would have won with or without Kareem? We'll never know. I don't want to get into that because we'll never know.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's a tough. You know what I mean? I don't know how we can create that. That experience, because we can also definitively say that the Lakers wouldn't have won without Kareem.
We know that the Bulls wouldn't have won because the Bulls didn't win. That's what I'm saying, though.
Well, I mean, yes, because they got to the Eastern Conference Finals and then lost. But hey, look, I don't think it's ironclad. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not up for debate.
No, you wrong.
Right. So anyway, no, I'm definitely not. But anyway, it's like I said, it's different strokes for different folks. What for me, this is the reason why I like having it bucketed, because and even to the point about Kareem being the greatest player of all time. I mean, look at his accolades from high school on to college, the expectations that he had when he went to UCLA and played under the probably one of the until Krzyzewski from Duke, Krzyzewski from Duke, from when he was playing for, at that time, the best college coach in college history, to go to that program and then to win night in, night out, March Madness after March Madness. And then to go to the league, translate, and then be able to lead teams as well, because there's a reason why he was called the captain, right? That was his nickname. You know what I mean? So this guy wasn't exactly, I don't know I understand your point about it not looking like he was the bus driver, but then I think there's a lot of people in that locker room. I want to watch that documentary that the Lakers.
It's documented that he wasn't. Kareem was a quiet type.
Well, that doesn't mean that he wasn't. I mean, there's different types of leaders, though.
No, but he wasn't like the quiet, like Kawhi leader. He was just like to himself.
Come on, man.
It's documented.
I'm not saying he wasn't a quiet type. I'm saying that there's different types of leaders. When Kareem Abdul Jabbar came on the court or came into practice, you knew, right, based upon his demeanor, based upon how he carried himself, based upon the way that he went into his the drills, the way that he practiced, the way that he spoke when he had to speak. Like, these things are documented as well. Okay, so we're not going to sit here and say that just because he was a quiet guy that
of course not. Tim Duncan was a quiet guy, but Tim Duncan was a great leader. Tim Duncan was a great leader. Okay. So then how does he get the moniker the captain if he's not a great leader? How does he get the nickname the captain if he's not a great leader? That's easy, Mike. When you have so many different monikers hurled on you because of, hey, high school he was great, college he was great, we just assume we're just going to keep going. Look, I didn't document the shit. I wasn't in those locker rooms.
So he wasn't a good leader.
Those are from his. I'm not saying that he was a bad leader. I'm saying his peers and people that were around the Milwaukee organization, Lakers organization, during his tenure in those respective places. They have documented that not like the leader type. Kareem kept to himself.
He wasn't the leader type. Okay, all right. I just want to just get that down for record. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I emphatically disagree, but it's cool.
Well, I've watched enough documentaries.
I've watched enough documentaries on my own as well. to be able to see conversations that Magic Johnson has had. Right now, is it to say that he was always a consummate leader? No, right? And there's a lot of guys that got kind of melded into being consummate leaders. So I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, he was the picture of perfection when it came to leadership in itself. But to say that you're not going to find James Worthy, Byron Scott, Magic Johnson,
Michael Thompson,
spelling about his leadership qualities is just I don't know how we're not. I don't even know how this is even a conversation.
Well, I think that you're misconstruing it. So again, me saying what I said, based off of what others around those organizations have said, you're turning that into, oh, he's not a good leader, period, point blank. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what they were saying. Okay, so as long as we can, parse through that, we're fine. And I will leave that to the audience. But so again, I don't really take much issue. I know I was a little bombastic, and initially when you said that you had Kareem ahead of Jordan, but for people out there that have that, or they have Bill Russell ahead of him, I don't really take issue with that. Like I disagree for the reasons that I laid out. But again, I think greatest basketball player, like just basketball player of all time, I think it falls on Kareem. And I think, again, the parameters when it comes to, as we define by NBA standards, then that's why, I take in the NBA years played. That's why I have MJ at the top. I think that when you boil down every single one of his seasons and give it like an average number, it will be higher than the average number that you will boil down from Kareem's or LeBron's, just based off of output and defensive. Well, first of all, LeBron and MJ, you can't compare them offensively and defensively. There's no comparison there. Now, at least with Kareem was no slouch on defense. And LeBron's no slouch on defense either, but he hasn't played defense since the nigga left Miami. He left his defense in South Beach.
Oh, Lord.
When he left his defense in South Beach. It's true. Come on,
I have to emphatically disagree once more.
What?
I have to emphatically. Well, I mean, come on now. This is not even, especially after the Miami saga, right? What this man was asked to do on both sides of the floor, okay, for the Cleveland Cavaliers teams that he was on, the first go around and the second go around. Okay, and then also for this Lakers team that's a shell of itself, right? Not to his own detriment. I mean, he definitely had a hand in it for sure, a big hand in it, right?
Yeah.
So
Westbrook,
but Lord, I didn't want to hear this last name, but we know that Michael Jordan had a load taken care for him by having Scottie Pippen on his team, by having Horace Grant on his team, by having Dennis Rodman on his team. Oh, he grew. They were drafted 2 years. Scottie Pippen was drafted like 2 years behind Jordan.
Yeah.
How is he grooming him? He didn't even know what he was fucking doing.
Hold on. Look.
He was getting bounced out the first round still.
Hold on. Well, first of all, hold on. First of all, his second season he didn't play because he broke his foot. Okay, so he missed the whole season. Hold on. Number two, this isn't hearsay or speculation. I could pull it off my bookshelf right now. Scottie Pippen's book. He himself says it.
That Michael Jordan groomed him into the player that he is.
Yes, literally. You can read that in his book. I have. Next time I see you, you can take the book. You can have it, nigga. But you can take it. You can read it. When he says,
I'm good because Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen. It's going to be really interesting.
He said him and Horace. He said he and Horace felt that Michael was really hard on him, and at first he didn't understand why he was treating him like that. But later on, he understood that he was grooming them and preparing them, and it made him the player that it made those guys the players that they were at the time where he wrote the damn book, where he was referencing in his early years in Chicago.
Come
and that's
we're not.
his mouth.
We're parsing, man. Yeah, no, we're parsing right now because to say nobody's saying because nobody's saying that Michael Jordan had no effect on Scottie Pippen's career whatsoever. I mean, they both give each other kudos as far as one would need the other. So we're not sitting here saying that Michael Jordan didn't provide the intangibles that Scottie needed, right? To be able to say, you know what, I can be that dog. I can be this. I can be that. But let's not take the accountability of the player, because you still have to go out there and do it. You still have to go out there and achieve. Okay, you can give me the rah-rah shish kumbah, which I'm not saying is not valued, but you still have to perform.
Of course.
Come on, man. I'm not gonna. Of course. Okay, so then he gave me the fire that I needed in order to be the in order to get me to the place that I needed to be successful. Come the fuck on, man. He's Jordan's a leader. That's part of being a leader,
bro. Look, I'm not here to defend what Scottie Pippen said of himself. Okay,
I'm not saying he didn't say it. What I'm saying is that nobody here is saying that Michael Jordan had no effect on Scottie Pippen's career or his trajectory of his career. What I'm saying is that Scottie Pippen, in his own right, still had to go out there. Thank you, Jordan, for believing in me. But I still got to actually go out there, work my ass off, and perform. Okay, so that's what I'm giving. I'm giving more credence to Scottie for actually getting out there and doing the damn thing. I'm giving credence to Horace Grant for getting out there and doing the damn thing. That's what I'm doing. I'm not saying that Scottie didn't say it at all.
But that shouldn't take away from Jordan, because that's initially why you brought it up. You said, Michael Jordan has Scottie Pippen, and that's why I brought up Michael Jordan groomed them.
Scottie Pippen still had to work to be Scottie Pippen.
The team that Michael Jordan had was a bunch of cokeheads and alcoholics.
Yeah, that's why they're getting bounced at the first round for like 4 or 5 years in a row. Yes, and absolutely.
Them.
They had a bunch of bums. They had a bunch of T.O. Jacksons and Michaels. Yes, absolutely.
Just like LeBron James, he had the whole world stacked against him. Like, hey, these are our expectations. Scottie had the expectations of Michael that he still had to live up to. Yes, but because of those expectations, Scottie Pippen himself has said, I was able to get here in my career, as opposed to maybe I would have been here in my career. Yeah. So whatever boost that you're trying to take away from Jordan because of Scottie, I'm saying that boost wouldn't be there if Scottie didn't have Jordan, and that's what he said.
Okay. So you're saying that in his book, he declares that he would never have been Scottie Pippen without Michael Jordan.
Yes. And Michael Jordan has said that too. Actually, they both said it.
Okay, and that's cool, because we can never prove otherwise. But I'm not saying as far as them saying that. I'm saying that we can't.
Yeah, we'll never know that. We'll never know that.
So that's great. So that's cute to say. That's cute to say.
We know one thing. There were 2 seasons when Jordan was gone,
and Scottie Pippen did his damn thing.
And Scottie Pippen came out the game.
He was an MVP. He was part of the. He was top 5 for MVP.
Hit the game
top 5 for MVP. He was top 5 for MVP votes, and they were like, what were they, like the second in the Eastern Conference? What are we talking about here?
You know why? Because they had the burden to overperform, because they didn't want to be the team that Jordan left, and now we're the laughing stocks. That's why they blew their load. They blew their load. That team won 50-something games. If they would have won like 40-something games, they probably could have won the championship. But they wanted to. They came out. Hey, you want to me? They came out. Let me ask you a question. The 73-9 Warriors. Do you think that if they wouldn't have won those 73 games and chased that record, that they would have had a greater chance of winning a championship that year, or a worse chance of winning a championship that year?
I think that question's been asked. I don't know. I don't know.
Well, you say you know. I think if they didn't chase that record and would have served themselves, they would have had a better chance of winning the championship. Not to mention, they won 7 games.
We can't say that. I mean, Draymond Green was having the best finals of his career, and he gets suspended in Game 5. In Game 6. So, I mean, we can then say that we can also throw out devil's advocate that if Draymond doesn't get suspended, they beat them off in 6. So,
we can also say they didn't chase the record. Steph probably would have had his legs, and he wouldn't have been fucking looking like a trash can out there. Because Steph was getting washed by Kyrie, left and right. Kyrie was outperforming him.
Oh, sorry, my headphone came in.
Night in, night out.
Yeah, no. Well, no, definitely down the stretch. Yeah, definitely down the stretch. Yeah.
Steph won a unanimous MVP that same year. So that's a unanimous MVP, the first time ever. Then he's getting washed. So yes, people want to. Hey, I get it. You want to say, hey, we don't really know. It's speculative. You can say that, but it's definitely worth the damn conversation. Maybe if they didn't have their foot on the gas to win 73 games, maybe they could have beat the freaking Cavaliers team in the finals.
Sure. I mean, if you want to play Monday morning quarterback, I just would say that, they just basically, they had all the opportunities to do so with legs and all. The games weren't getting blown out, right? So those games were tight, and rightfully so. I mean, it's not like those Cavs teams were scrubs, right? So, they had all-time performances being completed by LeBron and Kyrie, and even still, those games were barely over 100 points scored on both sides. So it's not to say that there was like a mass load of offense or defense. I mean, the teams just played very well just down the stretch. Again, Draymond Green commits some stupid ass fucking technical fouls, costs himself and his team potentially an opportunity of closing it out in 6, and then they have to go back to the Oracle with all of the pressure now. Okay, now if you want to say like that, by them hitting that moniker and then taking that pressure alongside to them in Game 7 with all of that on their fucking shoulders, and then having to basically say, hey, look, goddamn, if we don't finish this game, we are fucking screwed. Well, look, like if you're saying, like if that's a conversation, I can have that conversation where it's like, yo, Draymond really harped them by handicapped them by putting them in that position. You know what I'm saying?
So like Stephen A. Smith always says, the league gave the Cavaliers a stimulus package when they suspended Draymond Green for that game.
Ninja, keep your hands to yourself. Some slapping nuts, man.
Yeah, he was doing some nonsense. He was acting like a
grabbing nuts.
But I will say this though, because yes, this is my ultimate point that you've been glossing over. There's added stress with a 73-9 record, and that added stress is you have to win the championship. You have to.
They won the year before.
But yeah, I know. But when you win 73 games, you beat the record. Like, that's the greatest team, right? You have to cap it off with a chip. That's how it's supposed to go. Had they won a chip, the whole legacy of the Warriors would be different. But they didn't. They lost that game.
Okay, wait, hold on. All right, yeah, finish it. I'll ask my question.
Okay, I want to tie it into this. A different sport. Same thing. Your team, New England Patriots, Tom Brady, 16-0. Perfect season. They didn't cap it off. They lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. One can make the case again. There's a pressure. You have to cap this season off with the championship. Like that is a lot of added pressure that I don't think is being accounted for here. I think it's just like, oh, well, yeah, there's pressure to win the championship. No, but there's even more so when you won 73 games. When you have the greatest statistical win-loss record in league history, yes, there's a lot of pressure. So you have to win a championship to validate it. Same thing with Tom Brady. You have to, that 16-0 season, no one talks about it because they fucking lost.
Right. Yeah, I don't know where this whole glossing thing comes in. I brought to the table a question that we can ask, right? Because I think this more has more credence as far as saying if Draymond Green, my first point would be to say that if Draymond Green was taken because he took himself out, he gave an immense load of pressure on top of the Warriors to be able to win. Because if you're saying that, because I include the 73-9, now you're saying, yo, like these guys are coming back from 3-1 down. Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we are going to, and so now instead of you being able to cap it off in 6, now you have to go back home. The pressure of you having to finish it at home, you having to eclipse and capture that coveted record where you're
MVP,
73-9, and all these other things. Yes, with all those other factors, I would say that is that's a great question to be able to ask whether or not that in itself, that Draymond situation, bolstered an immense load of pressure for them to eventually play that game in Game 7. So
No,
nobody's
No.
glossing over whether or not the 73-9 record had it. What do you mean you can't compare the two? I don't understand. Oh no, hold on, because you was my last other point was just. Well, sorry, my question, not my point. My question was, I almost forgot it. So you're saying they would have had less pressure to winning 60 games versus 73 games and having the record.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I disagree, but okay.
Okay, that's fine. I think having the record, going for perfection, and again, this is why I'm bringing up the Tom Brady, New England Patriots 16-0 season. This added pressure that would not be there. Because now you're thinking about, oh man, if we lose, what's that mean about the 73-9? Like, oh, we have to cap it off. It's embarrassing. We can't do all this and then not win a championship. And it's been proven. No one talks about that season like that, really. And both teams, the Patriots or the Warriors, still great teams, all-time great teams, but they don't get the shine that they should because they fell short in the big moment. Now, I want to hark back to the Draymond Green part, because you're saying, like, hey, you think that has more credence in this? And I'll say no, because they were down 3-1 before Draymond did that.
Yes.
They could have swept them niggas. That's 4 games they already played. They could have beat them already before Draymond did that dumb shit. That's my point. So again, if they didn't chase the record and they had fresher legs and less things on their mind that we got to do, then yes, because you know what, in sports, Mike, and you know this, just like I'm sure most people that has ever played sports on a decent level understand this, because we all seen it before. When you're in a game and you left the back door open. And I don't mean like the basketball back door. I mean like you let the team get a foot in the goddamn door.
Yeah.
And then you start to see the tide change. And then shit that like, hey, that shit's about to go in. And it goes in. Oh, he about to catch that. And he catches that. Or, holy shit, he actually fumbled that. And you know how to get y'all fucked up. And you know the moment where you fucked up. And you know the moment where the tide fucking changed.
Yeah.
So again, the Golden State Warriors, I guarantee you that if maybe when they do a 30 for 30 in about 20 something years, they'll probably be like, hey, you know what? We probably shouldn't chase that record, and we would have had a three-peat against those Cavaliers.
Well, I mean, I hope not. I mean, if they do, then that gives you credence to your point. But I really
you hope not, just because you don't want me to get my fun.
Yeah, because that's a cop out, because you're up 3-1.
Yeah,
and you have two. So it's not like, so to sit here and say like, oh well, if we have fresher legs, if we didn't change, like you went through a hard series. Was that the series that they Yeah, that was a series. Sorry, the team that year they won against the Thunder, had all that going on.
Yeah, they were down 3-1.
Yeah, and then so they still were able to muster up to be able to take on a healthy Cavs team and take them and go 3-1 up on them. So you had all the opportunities to finish off that series. So I really do hope.
Bring it back. The Thunder should have beat them. That's another.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Kevin Durant fell short.
So if anything, they had more than enough opportunities to be able to coast through those playoffs. But that was a tough playoffs for them. So, so to speak, they went through some really tough series before they got to that Cavs game. So I look, I'm just here to, I'm just, basically saying that I don't know, how you can, that 30 for 30 can come out and they can basically say, oh, well, if we just took our foot off the gas pedal, and just, maybe won 63 games. I think I've even seen some of these guys say that, you know what I mean? Where they said, oh, if we won, 60 games instead of 73 games, we won 65 games, 69 games, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, I think one point was saying that he was like, when he was down and out, because he was going through a phase because of how crazy and how damaging that series was. He had those thoughts of like, okay, well, if we didn't go 73-9, could that have affected that? Like, could that have been a reason? Could have been. But my thing always comes back. Ninjas, y'all were up 3-1. Yeah. With these guys looking like with no hope. You were looking at LeBron's face on on those games when he's dropping 40, 10, and 10. You know what I'm saying? All those fucking Supreme Dream videos are dropping, and he's like, I'm dropping 40, 10, and 10. I'm dropping 40, 10, and 10. What the fuck do I have to do, Tristan? Tristan, get a rebound. How are you 16 and you don't get no rebounds? Like we all remember that saga, okay? And I still watch that shit to this day. So I don't know.
My favorite Supreme Dreams is when he do the Doc Rivers. He like, Paul George. You trash. You trash, Paul George.
Yeah. He's like, Paul George.
Yo, pull up the Supreme Dreams video. Pull it up. I want to show everybody.
Yeah, hold
on. Kawhi Leonard, trash. Paul George. Yo,
no, he went in on he was like Kawhi, if I ever hear your name being compared to LeBron James again, I'll shoot myself or some shit like that.
I don't want to hear it in the same or the same page.
He's like, I don't even want to hear the goddamn who's it, Doc Rivers. All right.
And then he got the Paul George. He said Paul George.
That was so. Oh my god, man! I wish they could do more of that shit.
Yo, whenever they do Doc, he said Ben Simmons. Why are you scared of Trae Young? Dump the ball on him. Ben.
Wait, let me get the. Is it this one? How the Clippers called Doc Rivers after losing by 50. Is it this one? Doc Rivers and the Clippers doctor after losing to the Nuggets?
Yeah, that one there. Shit's fucking hilarious, bro.
I smell the commercial.
Hilarious.
And I follow this thread.
Paul George.
Man, tax credit.
Paul George.
Maybe.
Look,
bro.
I'm fired. I already know I'm fired. Trust me, I know.
Bro.
But before I go, I just want to get this on my chest. That shit was not my fault.
Yo.
Y'all are trash. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Y'all are trash. Like, y'all are so trash. I want you to know that I'm talking to you, so I'm going to say your name. Then I'm going to call you trash. Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah,
you trash.
Yeah.
Patrick Beverly.
Bro.
You trash. Paul George. Paul George, listen to me when I say this. You are trash. Now, I deserve to be fired. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disagreeing with the decision they about to make. Because I left you out there for 38 minutes, I deserve to be fired. You wasn't doing shit. I seen it all 38 minutes.
Yeah.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah,
if I see your name on another top 10 list, I'm going to kill somebody. I better not hear your name compared to LeBron again, or I'm going to kill somebody. I don't want nobody saying Kawhi Leonard and LeBron James in the same sentence, not in the same paragraph, not in the same essay. Unless trash comes after Kawhi Leonard's name.
Yeah, the disrespect.
Now, like I said, I know I'm going to be fired. So I'm just going to get this off my chest. We lost to the Nuggets. We had a 3-1 lead. I'd fire me too, because I don't know who else to blame but y'all sorry asses.
Yeah.
I don't even know them boys' names. I know every one of y'all names. Oh, Lou Will, you're trash. I know you thought I forgot about you, but I did not. This don't make no sense. Everybody in this whole organization, we need to move this organization to a new city. Because LA ain't the place no more. We need to move to Maine or something. We need to go somewhere where people are not talking about. Anyway, Maine, fucking Austin. Let's go to Austin. Let's somewhere. Anywhere but Los Angeles, because we don't deserve that in our names.
Yo.
We don't deserve that in our names. And that's all I gotta say. Fire me. Fuck this whole organization. I'm gone.
Yo.
Fuck up my legacy again. 3-1 again. You fuck my legacy again.
Yo.
Yo, put on the other one, man. The one where he did.
When he was in the Sixers.
Oh, yeah, the Sixers. The Ben Simmons one.
Oh my god. After losing in the second round. Is this the same one? Oh, let's see this.
Not a top one, yeah.
We do it live, yeah.
I think I picked the wrong career. And y'all can find me for saying this. But I don't think I like the game of basketball anymore. Because of the 2016 #1 draft pick, Ben Simmons.
Damn, son.
What you did out there was nothing short of a miracle. I need you to stand up. And I'm going to ask you a question, Ben. Can I read off your stats? Now, to all the other players, please do not react when I'm reading Ben's stats off. Somebody bring me Ben's stats.
Bro, real quick, I can only imagine how much fucking heat Ben Simmons got that off season especially when this shit came out, man. Because they watch this shit. The NBA players watch this shit. They be watching this shit during shoot arounds on the bench, man. Oh my God. I wouldn't show my face.
Ben Simmons played 36 minutes and had 5 points. He shot 4 times.
Oh my God.
Don't do it. Don't react, y'all. And last game, he shot 6 times. And the game before that, he shot 4 times again. Ben, I have a question for you. Who else is scaring you? Is it Trae Young? Is it Gallinari? Who is it, Ben? Are you scared of the ball? What is it? Because you went under the goal and Trae Young's right there and you passed the ball off. Dunk on that dunk on his little ass. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You are 6'10", Ben. He like 5'11" at best. They stat padding him. Dunk on him. And listen, MB, I'm going to be honest. If I was you, I would just start looking for another team. Just try the Celtics, try some Dallas or something. Somebody could use you. But guess what, though? The Sixers don't deserve you no more. They don't. This team here, they don't want to play all the time. It's do or die here. Like, you got to drop 30 every game. I know it's tiring. So I'm with you. I'm going to help call coaches if I need to. What else do you need me to do? I'm sick of this shit. Every time I'm with a good organization, that organization starts pulling some bullshit. I don't really believe in the Illuminati or no shit like that, but I don't know. I might give it some belief now. I might. Because this don't make no sense. I don't see how this keep happening to me. But guess what? I ain't going to lose no more sleep over it because y'all seen it here first. Ben Simmons, 5 points, 4 shots. George Hill, I ain't forgot about your 21 minutes, 3 points. That game wasn't on me, and I'm going to stand on that. I'm out.
Yo. With FanDuel,
it always kills me when they do I didn't forget about you. Those shit always kill me, yo. Oh, I completely forgot about George Hill and that shit. Oh man, that is fucking money.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. I needed that.
Yeah, we gotta do more of that. We gotta rack more to like shit like that. That shit is it's almost
hilarious. Look at that shit. 5.4 million views, 3.8 million views, 2.6 million views.
Yeah, man.
Too funny, man.
Yeah, hilarious. Yo, you know what we should do? We should react to that compilation with the LeBron compilation.
Oh yeah, that shit's funny as hell.
Yeah, we should
Kyrie's like this.
Bro.
Kyrie just look.
Bro.
Yeah, he just did a new one with Kyrie. He did a new one when Kyrie got traded.
Oh, I didn't see that. Yo, I'm about to pull that one up because I haven't seen that yet. Oh shit.
Nah, if we're gonna do it, what we should do: kill this live, start a new live, and then we'll do a reaction for that one.
All right, so yeah, because we already got an hour in. Damn, see, look at us, we getting out of control out here. So yeah, y'all. So thank you guys for tuning in. Congratulations again to LeBron James on the historic feat. And we look forward to seeing you guys soon. If you guys enjoyed this, you guys loved the heated debate between me and my co-host, please do not be a stranger. Don't be a ninja watcher. Like, share, comment, and subscribe. Okay, it's free. It's free. We're not asking for super chats. Okay, we're just asking for you to like the video. All right. So we look forward to talking to you guys soon. Have a good one. Peace.
Shadow on the truck. Let's get it. I'm a rock star type nigga fucks bad bitches. See me in the drop 'cause I stay.